Hello and welcome to AntipoDnD, a show in which a bunch of Australians play Dungeons and Dragons in a setting partly inspired by prehistoric Australia and New Zealand, but also by, well, you're going to find out how twisted my mind can be sometimes, possibly tonight. So,
I've already been in Mercer's Pass.
that's true. That's true. I am David. I am the Dungeon Master for this show. I am joined as ever by Kindwin, Doug, April, and Zindy. And there's nothing to announce this week, so let's do a recap. Unless there's something to announce, because I forgot to ask you all. No? Okay. Recap. Our heroes are in the Feywild. Sort of a long story, but basically they went looking for some citizens from the city of Providence who wandered in there, and the priest who went looking for them afterwards. Our heroes dealt with a hag, uncovered a plot to try and turn the people of the Feywild against the people of Providence. They defeated the hag. They found evidence one of the citizens had died, the other had already returned home, and they rescued the priest who had been held captive by the hag. As thanks, they were offered, information on the Feywild. What would you like to know about your surroundings? And they were eventually given a map, which was drawn up by Hirop, a fairy wyvern rider, who is also an Ismani. They're essentially possum people. And our heroes spotted some rather interesting points of interest, which I guess almost goes without saying. And
as opposed to uninteresting points of interest.
Yeah. And were given the opportunity to join Hirop in his next scouting mission to fly around and just essentially patrol the region around the city of Rathcrunan. Our heroes were quite excited, especially since there seemed to be a few possibly personal quests that could be involved, and also the geography of the Feywild does seem to mirror to some degree the geography of the material plane, so they might find a few clues as to the great mysteries that they have already seen on their side of the portal. So we left last session with our heroes having just had a conversation with Herden Silverfin, the priest of Desmina, informing him of what they're planning on doing, just checking up, making sure it's going to be okay to hang around Rathcrunan until they complete their journey. And so it's there where, as our heroes are walking off, Herden Silverfin, who looked to be about to go back to his meditation, suddenly speaks up and says, Master Morzod, will you stay with me for a moment?
Mordor doesn't seem to see any problem with that, and he nods while the others go on ahead.
He turns and looks at as the rest of you leave and says, thank you and good luck. Morzod, my friend. Well, look, before may I ask you a question?
Hey, of course.
Why Bruinlach?
Oh, because he seems like he's got the right idea. I agree with the idea of having a good time. Enjoy a moment. It's what's good in life.
And,
what'd you ask?
Well, have you always felt that way?
I mean, I was pretty sullen when I was like, in my teens, and so I probably wouldn't have agreed then. I probably would have said, "Oh no, I need something with more, bones stuck on it, blood and whatever." But no, as a grew up, I thought, yeah, actually, that's the way to go.
Was there a moment that changed your mind?
It feels like it's one of those things that you sort of always knew a bit, but then sometimes there's a moment where it really happens to you, and you realize, oh yeah, that's been there the whole time. I remember I was at my cousin's birthday, I think it was, and we had some of the rock cut that my uncle had brought in, and it was it was killing the grots or what is it? And I was absolutely off my face, and I think I was standing on top of a keg, which was on top of a table, which two of my mates were carrying, and I thought that was when it sort of dawned on me. You know what? This is brewing lark up, down, and sideways, and I think that's the direction I should go in. And then I fell off the keg.
And Herden Silverfin laughs as I laugh. And this is the first time you've actually seen him laugh. You think maybe ever. You don't remember him actually showing any real joy at any point, and this is the first time it's happened in a long time. And he says, "Thank you. That's actually very helpful. Yeah, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you. You've probably helped me more than you might know. Good luck."
Hey, thanks. You know what? Just take it easy, all right?
Yeah.
Be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, I think I will. Thank you.
Right. Oswald excuses himself and follows up after the others.
Cool. So, as you head back, you see that Kerip is in the final stages of loading up his ferry wyvern, Brat, with... it's a little different configuration to what you've ridden previously. So it's not what Ocker had in terms of individual seats for passengers. It's more like down one side there is a well, basically various, how to put it, satchels would be the best term.
Panniers?
Well, they've got supplies in them, it seems. You have various supplies for the trip. The other side has basically just a big basket, which you gather is for the four of you.
Where are we going, and why are we in this handbasket?
Definitely not hell.
No, it's a blood lake.
And as you're getting ready, Hirip sort of walks up to you and says, "All right, looks like we're about ready to take off. Got clearance some all. Soren's given me the go-ahead. She's, yeah, I think she'll be glad to see the rest of you out of Rathgrunen for a little while, I think.
See the back of us.
She's given me strict instructions to not let you interact with Brat in any way, which, frankly, I intend to ignore unless you give me reason not to, so you watch yourselves. Now... I'm going to be honest with you. I don't actually have a strict patrol route. This is mainly just an excuse for me to take Brat for a long flight. I like to do it every now and again, and I like to, just as part of it, I just scout out a few locations, make sure there's nothing weird going on. So it does mean that we can go pretty much wherever you want, as long as it's not too dangerous. So... So I know you want to have a look at the Metal City.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll definitely go that way. I can't promise to take you too close, depending on how iffy it looks when we get there. But definitely happy to fly in that direction. Off to the... This is David trying to work out west.
I mean, do they even use compass points in the Feywild? I thought we established that was pretty weird.
I'm saying that they are just to make conversation easier.
Right.
They'd probably say something more like lightwood, duskwood, upward, down. I don't know, but yeah.
Actually, well,
clarity.
I've also been trying very hard to avoid using minutes, hours, days, weeks, years, that sort of thing, because they don't make any sense when the sun never moves. But I think I'm just going to say they have units of measurement which they translate into days, hours, weeks, whatever, for the sake of us, stupid Valdrons.
Let's call it ticks.
Yeah.
Every time it polls the server.
And he says, so at one point, as part of this, I promised me mum that every time I fly over the Isman forest, that I will stop in at some point and say hello. So it's going to take more than a day to get to Metal City anyway, so we might be able to overnight there if that suits you. Overnight, well, rest there. That's David correcting his language. It says, but it's also up to you if you want to do that. Head to the Metal City first, or if you want to look around some of the local areas first, or do them on the way back. So entirely up to you.
I mean, I have my preference, but I'm also known for being so agreeable. What do you all think?
I'm just following along to see what happens.
Valid.
Opinions, yeah.
Dagmar, Matericus.
I mean, my heart yearns for the Blood Lake, but I also don't want to deprive you a chance to find your missing family.
Thank you.
Indeed, I promised I would help you get to the Clouded City, and it looks like we're not terribly far away from there. So, I guess, Hirop, do you have a preference? Would you like to see your mother before or after we go to the Metal City?
Look, I'd say honestly after. It's a lot easier to keep her mind at ease if I can say I went to the Clouded City rather than I'm about to go to the Clouded City. You understand?
It's an excellent point.
It is. I mean,
you should never give your parents a chance to give input onto any facet of your life.
Well, I suppose the danger is that we die in the Metal City, and then you don't ever get to see your family again.
But she never gets to say, "I told you so."
It's true, and only we would die. Hirop, I'm sure, would.
Hirop says, "Yeah, that's right. The danger is that you die, which I wouldn't be okay with, but I'm not going in. If you're going in there, you're leaving me behind. So, let's get that straight.
Look like we're walking into certain death, you should definitely not come.
Just wait, see if we come back."
He says to Dagmar, and you said you're interested in the Blood Lake.
I mean, it's just the coolest sounding thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah, well, it's on the way to the Metal City, so we could fly low.
Oh, yes, please.
All right. And honestly, it's not far from... did one of you want to look at the big rock? I thought I saw some interest there.
I did want to get a sample of the capstone, if you don't mind. Wait, is there a capstone, or is it just a single big rock here?
Well, to me, from overhead, it's just a really big rock. That's what I see.
Right.
It doesn't seem to... it's just the one. So what were you expecting?
I mean, there's just something really similar where we're from, where it's like 3 rocks, and they're really big, and it's kind of in the same sort of ish area, so I was wondering if there was a link. I don't know.
No, well, yeah, it'd be interesting to... if you can take a look and see how it compares to, your side of the portal. Yeah, all right. Well, how about... Big Rock's pretty close. It's off to the north, but it's not far. So what if we... Big Rock, then turn back to fly by the Blood Lake. Then we'll have to stop in the Isman Forest anyway, because... Brat's going to need to rest a bit. Can't fly, endlessly. But we'll just find somewhere nice and quiet to do that. And then we'll, after we've rested, we'll then move on to the Metal City. Does that work for you?
Sounds all right.
And if anything else takes your fancy after you've definitely not died in the Metal City, then we can do that on the way back.
Good plan.
A day out.
All right. Well, it's just one... there it is. And you see that there's someone comes up carrying a bag, and he says, Hirop says, "Here we go. This is the last thing we need." He looks at, opens up and looks inside, and if you glance over, you can see that there actually appear to be a few scrolls in there. And he says, "All right, just a few, little tools in case things turn nasty. Almost never need it. Just, emergency supplies, you might say. All right." Loads that onto. onto
Or
Brat.
to get a peek, or are they rolled up?
Is Aussie trying to get a peek?
Yeah, he wants a peek.
And Hirip says, "Well, there, what you trying to do, friend?"
I just want to see what scrolls you had. What magic are you using?
Oh,
What magic
right,
do you
yeah.
use here?
Oh, yeah, not a secret here. He opens it up. You can see the bag has, there is a potion, looks to be some kind of powerful healing potion. There is a small, finely polished mirror. Almost looks like a makeup mirror. You're not really sure what it's doing in a survival pack. There's a medicine kit.
I feel like Aussie wouldn't find that so strange. A makeup mirror
True.
being in a survival kit.
And there are scrolls. There are 2 scrolls of lesser restoration. There is a scroll of purify food and drink, and a scroll of greater restoration.
Okay, so like a magic health kit, basically. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a
Okay. Good
yeah.
choices.
It's a what could possibly go wrong kit.
I like a
Yep.
prepared possum.
Sure, we won't need that.
And he says, yeah, it doesn't often come up. I
Mirror
don't know.
fall.
Mind you, it's normally just me, so who knows? All right. Well,
Oh, what's the mirror? What's the mirror for? Why do you have that? To check
oh,
your-
you'll see
So?
it when it comes. If it happens.
Ooh.
It doesn't have anything to do with those scary things in the sky, does it?
No. I got these for them, and he takes out a couple of small, perfectly spheroid stones.
Okay, so you said I've got these, but I heard I've got bees, and
And you just see this swarm of
Just
bees
one
appear.
jar
Go,
of-
it's all right.
jar
We
of
got your back.
bees.
Zoom.
yeah. you just got to shake it up before you open it.
It's It's
the
the-
Dragon Age.
yeah.
jar of
It's
bees.
Sarah's bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. And he says, "All right. Well, load yourselves into their basket. Got some lifelines in there as well. So if we for some reason turn upside down, hold on. Shouldn't happen though. Brat's pretty good. Oh, by the way, no one poops or pisses in that basket. All right. You need to go. Then you tell me, and we will find a place."
Or is that
Good to know.
an issue common enough that you have a warning?
I've had to explain it once or twice.
You only
After
need
the
once,
fact.
I think.
Mm.
That's what you call a precedent.
Well, Dags is gonna do a little flippy, jumpy somersault into the basket.
Yeah, showmanship.
Look, just give me an acrobatics check.
She's the rogue, though. She's
Thank
supposed to do
you.
that. You're just itching to.
For the
Try it
one
out.
which makes it an 11.
Hey!
Hang
We've got
on.
2 of them now.
You're saying it was actually a natural 1,
It was, yeah.
but it becomes
That
an
would've been
11,
very funny.
Because I have a plus 10.
which basically
I mean,
means
In
it's
that one, it's still in that one.
yes. I'm going to say
You stacked it, but it still looks impressive.
I
It-
stacked it with flair.
yeah.
It's that's
you-
one of those like, oh,
it looks
like a kitten tumbling
it
into a basket.
looks impressive. It is not at all what Dagmar intended.
It's one of those ones where you fall over and then you do that gymnast, stand up with the arms out. Meant to do that.
Falling with style.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good, Dagmar. Nice work.
Mm.
And
Right.
Terrence, are you going to perform your way into the basket?
Surprisingly, no. I think I'm just going to get in.
Oh, wow. Character development for everyone today.
Roll me a d20 just for fun, Vitericus.
Let's see how we go.
Stylishly get it to that.
Oh no, I burnt my nat 20.
You sucker!
So he says, I'm just going to step in, and then steps backwards into the basket with, not
Yeah,
even
well,
checking where his feet go, and it's just flawless and perfect.
Slow
and
motion.
beautiful.
I'm also going to use my bonus action to billow my cloak as I do it dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, does it smack me in the face?
Sure.
Better than that one.
Yeah, why not?
Wow, a nat 20 and a nat 1.
No wonder we're
And
such
let-
good friends.
And let that be this episode's character note.
Okay, Ozzy's just going to step into the basket.
Cool.
Lift up his skirts.
Morgan just climbs in. It's all good. He's not even drunk.
It's
Glow.
at-
Glow?
yeah, it's at this
Here?
point, Orsi, that you realise you haven't collected Glow yet.
Where's my owl?
Man, what order are we sitting in this basket in though? Like we got Dags in the front, and like are we arranged by size?
I
feel like we
assume
should be-
Dags is just at the bottom. Like,
Yeah, is it big enough to just be like loose in the basket?
You can be fairly loose. You're not pressed against each other.
it's
You
like
need a
one of
box.
those weird like life rafts, the round ones. We're all just sort of like feet in the middle,
Hanging
sitting
on.
around.
Yeah.
Right.
I keep thinking of like a hot air balloon, but it's like so tall that Dagmar can't see over it.
Oh,
I guys,
rip. Need a footstool.
Orsie's gonna call Glow, but he's used to her poofing, so he's just gonna like whistle.
After a moment, Glow does fly up to you and land on the edge of the basket and look down.
How was playing with the pixies?
Glow does
Satisfied.
a rouse, as it's called. It seems
fluff and chops?
to be very happy. Yeah, I call it a fluff and shake, where they fluff up and then shake it all off.
Yeah.
But immediately after doing so, she raises one of her legs and has a little scratch behind the neck, and a pixie falls out. And he goes, "Oh, sorry," flies off.
Oh, we better not take one of those through the portal with us.
And Glow then starts, inspecting every part of her body, but doesn't find
Yeah.
any others.
I don't know what kind of like border security they have in the, the portal. So
Yeah, can things from the Feywild come into our side?
I mean, yes, of course. I mean, I'm here. I'm an elf. My ancestors come from here.
And Glow's
Right.
always hanging about with us.
True.
Yeah, exactly. She's literally from the Feywild. She
I
poofs
guess you just
here.
don't really see any like pixies and stuff, or do you? Is that a thing that
I'm-
happens?
Probably
im-
they're around. Probably just don't see
Near
them.
portals, right? Like this is the first time we've had a portal in the middle of Providence.
And,
True.
I mean, how long's it been here for, right? It's always been here.
Yeah, and
you talk about
Hirup is hearing you. Says, "Oh yeah, this that portal you came through, never been here before until like those crystals just poof up in the forest.
Right.
So this is all new."
Oh.
Does
Yeah.
Mina literally punched a hole through reality? Fantastic.
What a mystery that we'll never solve because we didn't tell the Feywild about what's going on the Valdian side of that portal.
Oh yeah.
Did we? No, we
Everything was
mentioned it.
super
No,
normal.
they were like, "Did you guys make the crystal interruption happen?" And we were like, nope. It's a
I mean,
mystery."
we don't know what's really happened.
Yeah, and it's not like you did it.
This is true.
true.
We had
Huh.
only tangentially related to everything that was happening.
Tangential.
Tangentially, yeah. Tangentially?
Uh,
Kinda.
That's what happens when you fall asleep on the beach without any clothes on.
Tangentially. Tangentially.
Tangentially.
Tangentially.
I can write it.
3 hours later.
That would be in perfect context.
Yeah.
We are
Let's
having
just
this
keep roasting
conversation in
Kindly a little bit
character.
longer.
As Hirup, and as you're having this conversation, character Hirup, whispers a few words to Brat, who then takes off and flies away, and you leave the massive tree of Rathcrunan behind you. This is sort of like, being on a plane in that it's not going to take, the many days or weeks it would take by foot, but there's still going to be a need to kill time, essentially, because you're not even walking now, you're just sitting around. So what are your characters doing while sitting in this big basket?
Well, we definitely can't see anything, can we? I mean, I can't.
You can if you climb
you
up
can
and
stand
peer
up
over.
and- Yeah.
Yeah, look, Dags is probably doing that.
Do you need a box, Dagmar? Or shall I describe it to you? That's their relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, she is going to give you a cheeky smile. Well, her nose is just sticking over the edge of the basket.
Yeah, don't
Descriptions would be welcome.
I think Orsi is writing in his little book.
Yeah, I'll flip my Tarocca cards, see what the day has in store for us.
Every time you flip those things, I get very stressed because they always like call for doom, and doom sort of generally has rocked up.
Yeah,
Dagmar,
look,
if
there's
you
maybe a
keep
little doom.
expecting doom, then you're going to see it no matter where you go.
I mean, I didn't expect doom, and then he started predicting doom a lot. Also,
Because exactly, he started predicting, and then you started thinking about it. They're pieces of paper, Dagmar.
okay, I'm just saying we've encountered a lot of crazy shit lately.
We've also
When I say
encountered lots
lately,
of
I mean since I met you.
It's also been like lots of regular, like nice things as well.
Oh
If
yeah, it
you
has
pull
been
those
nice.
out from the deck, exactly.
I prefer it. Anyway, what do the cards say? How are we gonna die?
I don't know why I keep flipping this. Every time I've done a flip while we've been in the Feywilds, the broken one has appeared somewhere in my deck or in my drawer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Remind
okay.
me what that one means again.
Defeat, failure, and despair. The loss of something or someone important.
I mean, we do keep winning.
Cool.
We do keep inflicting defeat, failure, and despair on others. This is true.
Exactly.
Yes, but we're apparently accompanied today by inner turmoil and where is it? A love of money. So who knows what's going to happen there?
I
That's-
mean, that
Inner
sounds
turmoil and being rich is just every day for me.
This is true. Okay, maybe I'm just picking up Orsi from the
If he's got
cards.
too much inner turmoil, you got to tell him so that it doesn't happen in the basket.
Curious
Right.
love of money because you're in a land that, as far as you're aware, doesn't seem to use money.
Mm,
They haven't tried to. Did we try to buy anything yet?
We
no.
haven't actually been to a
We've just been
market?
bargaining.
Didn't
It's-
our hag friend say that she was a herb seller?
It's more of a barter thing. You're getting the what they call selling and trade is really, hey, I've got a thing. Can I give it to you for that thing?
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll meet somebody in the city that is very money minded.
I
Don't
mean,
let me forget.
we
I have
like
to get
money.
flowers before we leave.
Yeah.
If we come
Yes.
back.
Maybe
Oh my
that's the
gosh! I
failure
wonder if we'll get back in time for your bestie to turn up.
I don't know how long we've been here for. So
Nice.
who knows? Maybe it's been a decade and everything's been dead.
I'm so excited
Yeah.
to meet this boy.
And
Why?
what is Mozart doing to pass the time?
Honestly, Mozart is he seems oddly pensive. Like he's listening to the conversation, but he doesn't seem to have much to say, and he seems kind of thoughtful, but quietly so.
Okay, Dagmar, since Dagmar is
I'm-
looking, can you please give me a
She is
perception
peeping.
check?
Peeping with her goggles on.
Oh yeah.
Perception. Oh, yep. I just burned up my natural 20 as well.
Wow.
There we
Yeah.
go. Get him out early.
That's not burning, that's using.
Let
No,
me
it's not
see that lake.
It's not a burn if it's a perception check. Yeah.
3 rolls this game. There's been a 1, a 20, and a 20. Well,
So the
Well,
next
technically,
roll
I just
might be
rolled with
garbage.
advantage, so
Yeah.
the other one
was
was
a 10,
Was a
Somewhere
10.
in the middle. Yeah.
which is,
Dead center.
yeah.
Still
We love
there.
a spectrum.
So, well, okay. So, it's not long before, in fact, almost immediately, you find yourselves gliding over the Bullywug swamps. And Dagmar, you are able to look down. You can see that, these are swamps. These aren't marshes. They're actually, the occasional tree. It's much more lush and dense than a marsh would be. You can actually see these tiny little figures, various bullywugs. Some of them are actually marching in formation on patrol. Sort of like dressed up almost like redcoats. But you can see that these bullywugs are actually coloured differently. They seem to be sort of mostly brown and black. And at one point you can hear as you pass over one part of the swamps, you hear this as you encounter a tribe of bullywugs who are related directly to the bleating tree frogs outside my window. I love them, but they are so loud. They're really cute also. They're like this big and grey, and they're just really sweet, but they are so loud. They're like cicadas.
They
Anyway.
pack a punch.
As Dagmar, as you're looking down, at one point, Glow joins you and perches on the side and looks down with the wind sort of blowing the feathers. And Glow just sort of looks at you and then looks down again. And you get the feeling that Glow approves of your bird-like activity.
Look at you two. You're
Yeah,
bonding.
Dagmar's going to grin at Glow, but she's afraid of pissing Glow off, so she's just going to stick to grinning.
And with a natural 20 in the distance, Dagmar, you do think you might just be able to see what could be a lake of blood. It's a lake of something, probably. It's sort of reflecting the sky. It looks dark, but it's hard to see that the Feywild is kind of misty and hazy. You don't have the same... the horizon, so to speak, seems closer than it would be on the other side of the portal. It's not a pleasant roundish lake that it appears that Hirip has drawn on the map. It seems to be more of a jagged, almost like a scar in the landscape. But Hirip never claimed to be an artist.
Bless his soul. You guys, I think I see the blood lake.
Oh, is it made of blood?
It looks super dark and grotty. So
Yeah.
yes?
Do you think it's one of those things where it's just like called the Blood Lake, but it's like moss or something?
Mozart will stand up and have a look over the side.
I'm not
View the
super
lake.
well versed in above ground lakes, I'll be honest.
I'll get
And
a
what? Neither am I.
perception check from Morzod.
Yep. Let me see. What am I gonna burn? Oh God, where's my perception button? There it is.
Here we go. 20 train. Let's keep it rolling.
It's either 20 or a 1.
Okay, so it was a 14 plus 3 for 17, but that's right next to the 20. Like it's right there.
It was
Thanks.
close.
17.
Sadly, that is not quite enough to be able to see what Dagmar's natural 20 with the goggles of perception, with the, hawk. What are they called again?
Eyes of the eagle?
Eyes of the
the
eagle.
eagle.
Yes.
Yay.
So, Morzod, you can't see a lake
No,
out there.
you're just looking.
Can Glow have a look?
Uh,
She see the lake.
Yeah, sure. Please roll for Glow.
She's got +3. Oh, not 20
There it is.
for 23.
Yes, Glow does actually see the Blood Lake,
Rad.
and with Glow's fancy fey eyes, which I'm
Those
going to say,
special eyes.
which I'm going to say have a slight sort of polarizing filter on them.
Sick.
So
Vipers.
she can see through the reflection on the surface of the Blood Lake, and to Glow, it looks very dark and maybe a bit red.
Birds see in like super hyper neon anyway.
Yeah, well,
I mean, she's not really a bird.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's frankly, Glow can see whatever I want Glow to see because
That's fair.
she's a fey spirit in the Feywild.
She says it's really red, Dagmar.
Cool.
So it's looking good for being a lake of blood.
So excited. One of my
I'm
favorite bands from back home was called Blood Lake, and I just really want it to be a real thing,
Well, it is obvious. It's a real thing. Maybe that's where they got the name from. Where did the blood come from? Is there blood rain? Does it rain here? When it rains, do you think it gets diluted?
Blood Rain would be a really cool band name.
Raining
game.
blood.
It was terrible. Early noughties.
Yeah, so
Also, he's going to ask our possum friend if it rains in the Feywild. Does it rain in the Feywild?
as you sort of look up, you realise that Hirip has actually crawled back along the fairy wyvern's neck and is actually just coming down to join you in the basket.
Oh,
Hey.
does it rain?
And he says,
Welcome, buddy.
"Oh yeah, it does rain. Yeah,
What does it rain?
water.
What happens to the blood lake when it rains?
Frankly, I've never been there when it rains.
Oh, I have a lot of questions about the... Are there blood clouds? How does it work?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess sometimes there must be a bit of blood in there because there are things in there that eat other things. So I guess blood gets mixed in.
Well, I mean, does it I don't know how the sun works here. Does it evaporate the blood and there's a blood... How does the water cycle work in the Feywild?
That's right, because your sun, where you come from, it keeps moving around, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, sometimes it's bright, sometimes it's... Oh, that would be so weird. I don't think I could get used to that.
It's really good for tracking time.
It is
Yeah.
to get used to.
We just...
Right.
Yeah, but then you've got this bright light in the sky telling you when to sleep.
That's why I wear a hat.
You don't
The
have
bright
to.
light
Seems
is very
fair.
distracting.
All right,
Yes.
so if you can't see the light, you don't have to sleep when it tells you to.
Yeah. I mean, among other things, I find the sun very hard to cope with sometimes.
It's not good for you. It's not good for your skin.
Valdra's weird.
You know what? I'd agree with that.
A little
No
bit,
blood
yeah.
lakes.
But
And
is
we
there
certainly
perhaps
don't have blood lakes.
Don't have blood
No.
lakes. Not
Is
that I
there an
know of.
underground reservoir of blood that's feeding into Blood Lake?
Is there something really big living in there? Whose blood is it?
I had no idea. We've got some weird things about, there's, maybe it's something to do with the rock, maybe it's something to do with that whirlpool over there. Well, not so much thumbs, but claws to the other side of the wyvern, where the basket isn't, because the basket is on the port side, or the left of the wyvern.
Port and left have the same amount of letters. That's how you remember it.
I just remember it's something like port being what's left on the table or whatever. Anyway.
Got any port left?
Yeah, see, that's not a Mozart thing at all.
No, you just count the letters. Cool, Whirlpool. Any goss on that one?
Not much. I flew close to it once, and it's so there's the ocean. You get oceans in Valdra, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, we do have
yeah.
ocean.
Yeah, and it's not made of blood, but
Yet.
you just go there to this, and it's just a whirlpool. The water starts going around and around, and then down. And I flew kind of close once, and there are I don't know, voices, sounds shouting and screaming, but also crying and laughing, and it was, gonna be honest with you, it freaked me out a bit, and I decided not to stay.
It's a really smart decision.
Yeah.
Valid. Did you throw
Yeah.
anything into it?
Nah, didn't think of it. Why'd I do
Step
that?
one of scientific discovery is throwing things into things. We're definitely going to be throwing things into the blood lake.
All
Yes.
right.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm still learning Common. It is my second language. Scientific, what's that?
The opposite. Magic explained.
So, right.
So knowing exactly why magic does something. Completely understanding it. Not just pulling it out of the veil.
Okay, so that's scientific.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Seems to...
That's your thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's a little less hard to nail down here.
Just if you're going to throw stuff into things, just don't do it too close to me, right? I like to keep my distance
Probably
from
best.
that. Yeah.
You should probably park a little bit away.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you continue flying for a bit, and it's going to take. a couple of hours to get to the big rock from Rathcronin. Is there anything any of you would like to achieve during this essentially downtime?
Let me check my ritual spells.
I think my spells are still kind of decently set up from last time. I don't want to touch anything in
yeah.
case it falls over.
Because
Dagmar's
you
going to have a little snack.
identified everything that you found in the hag lair except for the head and the
Tiara on
headband.
the head.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Dagmar? Do you want to see if you can grab that head out of the bag? Let me see if I can do
Sure.
that. Yeah,
So
just think about it.
Dagmar's going to open the bag, which I
Yep.
guess isn't screaming anymore.
You open the bag and you don't hear any screaming.
I'm almost worried that it stopped screaming.
I'm concerned.
Kind of attached. What do we call it? Your Aunt Hilda? No.
Helga.
Helga. Aunt Helga.
I'm going to put my hand in the bag and I'm going to think really hard about Aunt Helga, both the head and the aunt, and hope for the best.
Oh, for it.
Yeah, it's going to be fine because there's a question mark of whether you then pull out what you're what you're hoping to pull out, or you
the
pull
head,
out
or maybe Helga is
aunt
actually in
Helga.
it.
Except
I would
Helga?
assume that she would be in
But
the
how
bag to
did-
begin with.
I
so-
don't-
How did she get into the bag of
Yeah.
holding?
I kind of now want to put her
It's a
head
whole
in the
different
bag of
adventure.
holding, but
Yeah.
that then becomes an entirely new story. So you
We
do
don't need to
pull
talk
out this severed, mummified head with a golden circlet on it, and getting a bit of noise through your microphone. April seems to be okay now.
about it.
No, it's fine. Yeah, there's some weird sort of static coming through.
There was a little bit of Shodan buzz.
Yeah.
Let me know,
So-
and I will change Jack's anyway.
You pull it out, and the last time you saw this head, its pearly eyes were wide open. It was the mouth was open and screaming in anguish. And feedback coming through again.
I'll fix it.
Cool, thank you. But this time, it's the mouth is closed, the jaw is closed, the eyes are closed again. But
she's sleeping.
even as you pull it out, you see it's the facial features twitch, the eyes open up, the mouth starts to drop, and you think you know what's about to happen.
Can I try and snatch the circlet off real quick?
Yes.
Does that seem like a horrible, cursed idea? We'll do it anyway.
We'll make this a dexterity check to see how quickly you can do this.
Ooh, okay.
Oh man, it's gonna bite you.
Oh man, 9. It's gonna bite me.
It's gonna bite you.
You get your hands on the circlet and start to pull, and it's not coming away. It's almost like it's glued onto the top of its head.
That scene from Matilda. The fibers have pierced my head.
Dagmar is. Can I instinctively just toss it at Orsi? Or 2?
Oh my
Was it
god, are we
two
playing
Aussies?
hot
My
potato
mic
with
was
a severed
disconnected
head?
that whole time, and I missed the entire description, so I have no idea what you're throwing at me. Do it.
The head.
Okay, so Orsi, you see Dagmar pulls the head out, tries to pull the circlet off, and fails as though it's stuck to it. The head's face is twitching, its eyes are open, its jaw drops open, and then Dagmar just panics and throws the head at you.
Ah! What do I roll to not throw it over the side of the basket?
Okay,
Volleyball.
it's just straight up dexterity. Just a dexterity check to catch this
No, we're gonna lose
mummified
our
head.
Okay, I have a +3 dex.
Aunt Hilda.
I have +4 and I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 9.
Hey,
nice.
exactly the
Oh, that's
same.
not bad.
Um,
Not bad.
Oh god, we're gonna play hot potato.
the head, Orsi doesn't quite catch the head so much as Orsi blocks the head and stops it from flying over the edge as it just
Christ.
thuds into him, and
There's a full netball catch.
he does
Yeah.
stop it from falling into the bottom of the basket and rolling away, but
Dagmar!
Sorry,
Ugh.
I
and
couldn't get the circlet off and I think she's about to start screaming.
it is at
That's
this
fine.
point that the screaming starts. This
In the bag.
starts quietly and then gets louder and louder. The pitch goes higher and higher. And it's at this point that Hirip, who's been watching this curiously, just goes, What the fuck is that?
We stole it from the hag. It's cool.
We named
Dispel
her
magic.
Helga.
Dispel
So-
magic.
so
No,
far as we know,
I don't
it's-
dispel magic. I don't dispel magic. I don't. Go on.
Okay,
Is
so
it
far as we know, it's a
screaming while we're
hag
having this
summoner, so this will be
conversation?
great.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Does
hope
anyone
you
know
all
what to
don't
do with one of
mind.
these?
Yeah, if you don't mind sitting here for 10 minutes while I cast identify.
Can we put something in its mouth?
Oh, good idea. We shove a rag in there. Does that work?
Yeah. This is good.
okay,
The screaming head.
Keeping the fingers out.
the rag does muffle the scream a bit. It is still an unpleasant sound. And after about 30 seconds of this, Brat, the fairy ribbon, starts letting out a mournful and
Oh no, we're upsetting Brat.
and
Oh,
Hirip
fine,
says,
fine.
"Yeah, I don't think he's happy with the noise, and I don't think I am either. And frankly, this whole thing's freaking me out a bit."
You'd all
Okay, in that
start
case,
yelling.
can Orsi cast identify?
Okay, so Orsi, when you identify objects,
Yes.
the method in which the information gets into your brain varies sometimes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, often it's quite simply an awareness becomes, you suddenly know what it is. In this case, it comes to you quickly as a series of flashbacks. So the first thing you see is some people, they appear to be elves, probably Eladrin, maybe early Eladrin. It's hard to say. They look elf-like, but everything is a bit blurry. It is like a Vaseline flashback in a way. Vaseline on the lens. At the center of it, you do see this golden circlet. And it is in what appears to be a summoning circle as people stand around it.
Right.
And then as you watch a creature appears, give me an Arcana check, please.
Arcana. Very good. 22.
22. You've never seen these before, but the description, what you see here fits something that you've read about. It appears to be a devil of some kind.
Right.
And
There's
it
nothing
appears
else.
and is immediately drawn into the circlet as it screams in rage and fury at what's being done to it. The next image you see is of this circlet being handed over to a powerful queen with the guarantee that as long as she wears it, she will never die. You see this.
Yeah.
With the Helga.
You then see this queen ruling tyrannically over this some kind of ancient elf nation, as they seem to be conquering part of the Feywild. And she's at this point, she seems fit and healthy. The next time you see her, a great deal of time has passed, and you can see that her skin has become pallid. Her eyes are sunken. She's going through the process that happens to all elves after several centuries when they suddenly start to enter old age.
They have that Asian grandma thing where they're like in their prime and then suddenly, bam, they're 3 feet tall and
And this queen is arguing with her magi about, how can she be dying of old age? She is still wearing the circlet. She cannot die as long as she wears it. The next time you see her, she is a husk of a person. She looks mummified. Her eyes have rotten away. Her skin is stuck to the bone. You can see that she is howling in pain as the magi plant these pearls into her eye sockets and enchant them so that she can see again. And the next time you see her, she is furiously casting dreadful magic, which is tearing people apart all around her, as she is now completely insane with rage and pain. The next thing you see is there is a revolt, a revolution of some kind. The people that she has been tyrannically ruling over for hundreds and hundreds of years have risen up, and one of them, they've taken the dead queen, who should have died centuries ago now, and they put her under a guillotine, and her head comes off and rolls, and this severed head just screams and screams and screams. And among the crowd, you see a wood elf who is familiar to you. You see Halicia, who you know to be the hag.
So they've known each other a while.
The next glimpse you have is of the ringleaders of this revolution fighting each other for who should have the right to rule the nation. And as this argument ensues, you see Halicia smiling, taking this severed head and just dropping it into her bag of holding. And the last image you have is of Halicia, now Halicia, the also known as Granny Oozlicker, the hag, in her lair, and you actually recognize this as the lair on the basalt cliffs. So this must be fairly recent, and it looks like she is frustrated and angry at something that didn't work as she intended, and that this hideous crone of a creature sits down and picks up a bag of holding, and then walks up to this sleeping head and the circlet on it, and then slaps it in the face, and then looks around, and then puts it partly in the bag of holding as a very familiar, horrible, piercing scream, and then she puts her ear to it and smiles as if she's listening to blissful music. And this is joy. This is like listening to a calming symphony at the end of a long, horrible day.
It's her white noise machine.
It's a little white noise machine. It's ASMR.
And this is the end of the visions that you have.
So it's just sort of like, he's very glassy.
You all right there, Rosie?
You okay? Can we put her away?
Let's put it back in the bag, and I'll tell you everything later.
Okay.
I think we might need 5 minutes or so. 5 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
The queen's head goes back into the bag of holding. You seal it up, and the sound goes away.
As he puts it back in the bag, you just hear him whisper, like, "Your Highness."
And Hirip sort of peers over and says, "What else you lot got in there?"
What else do we have in there?
We kind of didn't have time to look over it, I guess. We just sort of grabbed stuff from the hag's place and shoved it in.
No, I looked over all of it.
You did. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. No, you were next to me when I did.
I don't pay a lot of attention when stuff happens.
I noticed, Dagmar.
Got a lot going on.
Yeah. You know what? Me too.
So that's like some hag thing?
Yeah, it's like
I guess it's a hat thing.
You know when it rains? We've established that it rains here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like it sounds nice when it's raining and you go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like that for her. It was like that for her, what he's telling everybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess she was super gross.
She was pretty fucked up.
All right. Look, I'm going to go and make sure Brat's okay. Can you do me a favor and not pull anything out of that bag while we're in the air? Just,
Yeah. Noted.
All right.
Yeah.
And
once he's back talking to Brat, Melissa will tell everyone.
Yeah. Hirip crawls back up Brat's neck and starts whispering calming words.
Oh. Yeah. So, That's like the head of like an immortal queen. How crazy is that?
Oh, she's still alive?
Yeah. She like I saw like all this stuff, like these really ancient Eldrin, or whatever, like the like really old though, like really old. Like I didn't even recognize what they are. And there was a devil. I've never seen a devil before, but I've read about them in books. I don't know how much you know about the Nine Hells, but like that sort of stuff. Right.
None.
So there was like a summoning circle, and they like put the demon, not the demon, the devil, excuse me, into the circlet thing. And then they were like, hey, wear this, you'll never die. But I suppose they didn't tell her that, you know, she was going to keep aging and going, you know, crazy. And then they chopped her head off and she wouldn't stop screaming. And they like put the pearls in her eyes so she could still see. And there was like a revolution. And then the hag was there and took her head. And the ASMR part was true.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So I don't know what we're going to do with it. But if you ever want to put that crown on, you could live forever.
I think her crown is like inherently evil, or is it like just a...
No, I don't think it's inherently evil.
bad
I mean, it's got a devil
loophole.
in it. Yeah. I mean, look, magic... Is magic good or evil? Is a sword good or evil? It's how you use it, really, truly.
I was thinking that, you know, when we're fighting people, because that seems to happen a lot lately, we could just sort of frisbee it onto whoever's having a hard time's head. And
I don't
maybe...
think I want to give an ancient devil-infused golden crown to, like, a random grunt.
Oh, no, not them. I was thinking like Vatericus. He's always fucked up.
You want to put the crown on Vatericus?
Just for a bit, sometimes.
For what? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you need to just run it back
live
to me.
forever.
Devil...
That's the thing I could do.
Are we gods? Did you want to live forever, Vatericus?
I mean, I am kind of already some of the way there, right?
I think...
So, like, you always
no,
seem to
no,
come
no.
the closest to dying, so maybe we should
No, I
just give
think-
him a little hat.
I think that's the issue. I think Engadon already doesn't like you, Vatericus. I think if you started to purposely cheat death by
Could you
living
imagine?
forever, she'd be
Oh,
pretty
that would
angry.
be so good.
That would be funny.
Ah,
Well, maybe
So, hang on.
you can threaten her with it. What? Go on.
white noise machine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the bag still open and gently screaming?
No, I closed it
yeah.
because I didn't want to upset the only fairy wyvern willing to carry us.
Cool. Just be like, may I?
Yes.
Perfect. And I'll open it a crack and listen to it. Is it in any way soothing?
No. I mean, unless there's something about Vatericus that I don't know, this is
No,
not
it
in
is
the
not.
least bit soothing. This is...
Do you like screamo metal?
No, surprisingly.
yeah. This,
Maybe we could bring it to the whirlpool and it can communicate with the other screen.
Yeah. So I'll close the bag again and go, I don't get it. And I'll hand it back.
Well,
Talking about that
That one-
whirlpool.
what was
that-
that? What was that? Moses?
That whirlpool. Was you all
Yeah.
thinking what I was thinking?
That it sounded like that horrible river we flung ourselves into.
I was thinking that because
Mm.
that's
Oh,
only
I
the
wasn't
second
thinking
time I've
about
ever heard about water that was singing.
And
Well,
crying.
he did specifically say that the whirlpool was like screaming and crying, though, right?
And laughing.
That was he said all sorts, and that's what was going on at the where we was before.
can I get
It was a full spectrum of sounds.
can I get intelligence checks, please?
Sure.
From
who?
from
All of
anyone
us?
who is thinking about
About
Yes.
this.
about this. From anyone who is
23.
actively trying to think about it rather than just letting the conversation pass.
16.
5. Vatericus is still
23.
thinking about the screaming.
Hmm.
He had it. It's
16.
like when he has it up to his ear.
Yeah, it's
16
how is
here
that
as
even
well.
remotely relaxing.
So, Orsi, it occurs to you that what you heard from the River of Dreams was a bit of everything. Joy, happiness, anger, despair, every single emotion, every single thought that could ever possibly go through a humanoid mind was reflected in the River of Dreams, because it is the sum of all experience. But if you think about times when you've heard just sort of laughter and screams of despair and anguish, you suddenly have almost a PTSD flashback to creatures called bone striders. That while you were fighting them, every sound they made was like a horrible mixture of laughter and anguish.
Oh yeah, that guy was laughing and kind of also having a bad time.
Hey, yeah, Mozord.
What?
I don't think that's a big fun dream whirlpool.
I mean, I wasn't thinking of jumping in again. That's more your
I know.
speed.
I don't think you were going to jump in. But do you remember when we fought those big bone monsters? Do you remember those? Remember the bone
What?
monsters?
What? Yeah, back at Moses Pass with the guy in a hole
It all
up.
comes back to Mercer's Pass for some reason. Do you remember that they sounded like, kind of like what Hero described? Kind of like
Well, they
the
sounded like they
general
was having a bad
concept of
time.
screaming. Yeah, like whether it was
Yeah.
in pain or happy.
I mean, the one that looked like it used to be a fella was kind of laughing, but I figured that because he was well
Yeah.
past it.
I mean, look, honestly, thought the Blood Lake might have been linked. Maybe the Whirlpool is. Maybe the Whirlpool's a portal to the Abyss. That seems like the kind of place that would be on the other end of a Whirlpool, doesn't it?
I mean, that would explain his screaming.
Yeah, I'm sure the Abyss is full of screaming.
I mean, there seems to be a lot of things around here that sort of got a lot of screaming going on.
There is.
This is a real weird place.
For the record, I'd like to think that Morzod has a drink every time Zindy has a drink.
Oh yeah, like he's got something in his hand as a general prop. It's
I mean, look, it's a thread that I wouldn't mind tugging out and seeing where the unholy screaming is coming from. But perhaps
what if you throw something in there and it throws something back? That's what you don't want.
I mean,
Depends on the thing.
that's a discovery in itself.
You think
Sentience.
something good's gonna come out of something that's screaming a lot?
Oh,
I
absolutely
mean, we can.
not.
It's not entirely true. We can get that immortal crown off that with that queen's head. That's good.
Is it?
She's got pearls in her eyes. Also a bonus.
Oh, I love pearls.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Check
don't
'em
have
out.
any.
Sell them. I mean,
No,
put them in a museum. Put the
I'll
whole
have a
head in a
shelf.
museum. Is what I meant to say. Not so.
You reckon we could use those eyes if we lost one?
I don't think it'd be very
Pop
enjoyable.
it out, whack it in. Does
I,
that...
I think she's quite shriveled.
Yeah, but the pearls aren't.
I think
They're still
the pearls aren't the same size as like your eye.
Fair point. So we need a bigger pearl, is what you're saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
or you could inlay the pearl in like a regular wooden eye or glass eye,
You don't.
and that's
I
like
could make you a really nice little gold eye with like a
put the pearl in it.
yeah.
Well, if I ever lose one
Make
of
you
these
look-
ones, I will come to you.
It doesn't
I'll
look.
make you look real fancy.
It doesn't look like the head's bones have shrunk. So the eye socket is still an eye socket.
Oh, so it is a big ass pearl.
It's a huge fucking.
But they
pearl,
are
yeah.
big pearls, yeah.
Okay, I
You know
definitely
what,
want it.
Circus? I've not really poked around at a human skull before, so I don't know how big your eye sockets are.
Yeah, about this big.
And maybe it would fit.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Who knows?
Well, hey, you
Unless
know,
we'll have to lose an
no.
eye to find out. It'll be fine.
Hey,
Uh,
we're going to the Metal City. You can poke an eye out. Who knows?
It's true.
Big
We
fingers
could
crossed.
anger some bullywugs down in the swamp. That'd probably
Look,
cost us
out
an
of
eye,
all-
right?
Out of all
No,
of
they're
us,
so
you're
cute. We have to leave them
You could-
alone.
Did you see the trees in that swamp? You could walk and one of your eyes could get poked out on a tree.
I wasn't paying attention. I was drawing cards.
At this point,
Right.
Hirup shouts out, I can see the big rock, so how close do you want to get to it?
I would like to take a sample from the rock.
All right, so you want to land on it?
Is that okay to land on the rock?
Yeah. It's yeah, like it's a bit weird having a big rock just sitting there, but I've never really seen reason not to go there. So all right,
As long as it's a rock and not something that's going to move or something. I don't know what this place is.
well
Like
look,
a giant turtle?
that could be true of anything. So we'll find out. All right.
Anything in this place could be a giant turtle?
Yeah.
Cool.
And so Brat starts the descent towards the big rock.
Please put your chairs and tray tables into the upright position.
As you get this aerial view, do you want to do some perception checks to try and get a better look at the rock?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
gonna roll one.
Sure.
I mean, Vitericus was the only
such,
person who wasn't there for the extremely long rock discussion.
Yo,
in
that's a 22.
Hmm.
Nice.
Nice work.
17.
Oops.
14 for Glow.
19 for Dagmar.
Cool. So
Seeing lots of stuff.
you do see this incredibly large rock. Now, what you've been thinking, obviously, all this time is the same rough location as Rivermeet. Is it the same as the capstone of the Sanding Stones of Rivermeet? And for Morzod, with that 22, it looks exactly like the capstone. It's
Same
this
stuff.
same color, the same size. I mean, it's a bit hard to judge scale from up in the air. And you're looking at it from a different angle, of course. But if somebody told you that you were just looking at the same rock from a different angle, you would 100% believe them. That's what it looks like.
Hey. Yeah, he does look a lot like that one you was talking about, Ozzy.
Oh, do you reckon?
Oh. Also, looks real similar. That same
Oh,
shape and
weird.
everything.
How did it get here? I mean,
And-
how did the other roll? Is it
and-
from here?
You can also, actually, Morzod with that roll, you can also see that it's not, you don't see any standing stones supporting it. It seems to be just resting on a slight hill, like it's been raised up a bit. But you can see that on one side of the hill, where it comes up to meet the big rock, on the other side, it actually seems to be a hollow underneath. So that the ground doesn't reach all the way up, or it might do so a bit underneath the rock. And it seems to be like that all along one side of the length of this thing. You almost find yourself wondering, how can it actually stay upright when
How's it
one
balanced
side of
like
it,
that?
when one side of it appears to have just this gap underneath it.
That's kind of funny. It's just like it's propped up. There's nothing under there. Do rocks do that, Dags?
Do rocks do that?
What?
Not in Dagmar's experience.
I've never seen a rock like that.
At least not naturally.
Do you think? Does it is it covered in like moss and stuff or whatever? Or is it just like rock?
I apologise to viewers. I just realised I was using the wrong overlay for that last part, so some of our windows were a bit messed up. Hopefully it makes more sense now.
Yeah. Does the rock, is it covered in moss and stuff like the other ones were, or is it just like naked rock?
As you're getting closer, you can see that, it has the same kind of mossy, weathered appearance that the rock on the other side has. Same coloration, same kind of wear.
Is there any other?
Sandstony, wasn't it?
The other one was supported by sandstone rocks, but the
Right, but the top one was different.
capstone,
capstone was different.
capstone itself was a different material.
Does this rock, is there any other rocks in the area or cliffs? Does it look like it's made from the same type of stone or rock or whatever?
I'll make this a perception check as Orsi looks around.
I got a 9.
Ozzy knows nothing about rocks.
No, I
He
mean,
really doesn't know that much about rocks. Yeah.
pretty much all you're seeing here are trees and swamps
Yeah.
anyway, so it's you don't see any other rocks or cliffs that you can compare it to.
Right.
Well, in
How
the
close
middle
we
of
to landing
nowhere,
on
innit?
You're about 30 seconds from making rockfall. Everyone dies. No.
No, there has to be more than one rock for that.
Yeah, this one will not kill you if it fell on you.
I mean,
I think it
if
would.
it fell on us,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
It can't fall on us if we're on top of it.
That's right. We're falling
Exactly.
on
We're
it.
landing on top. We're landing on top. I just wanted to get a sample.
How are you going to break it off?
The kit.
Yeah, Jade, you've got something, right, Dagmar? A little hammer. Wait, I'm an
Always.
archaeologist. I have archaeologist tools.
You do.
Let's both take a little chisel.
Absolutely.
Mozo, did we want to stick our heads underneath, see where that that hollow goes?
Wouldn't mind having a look.
If you're gonna go, take Glow with you.
All right, come
Right.
on.
So scaling down the side of the rock, you think would be a major feat. So it's a question of
So
do you
it's
want
sort of a long way
to
down.
drop Dagmar and Orsi off the top, so you can then fly down?
If they're okay with that.
Yeah, if you guys are happy to, and we can leave Brat on station keeping, right, somewhere nearby.
Yeah, as long as we don't get eaten by one of those sky things, sure.
How high are we?
Not that high, but I'm pretty not okay with giant sky
Yeah.
monsters.
At this point, Brat has landed on the rock, and Hirup's climbing back to you and says, "So we all off?"
Oh look,
Just-
these two are gonna get bits of the rock, but we was actually thinking we'd have a look at the side of there where it's got a gap underneath it. Did you see that?
Oh no, I hadn't noticed that. But if you say it's there, then yeah, it's there. All right.
Yeah, they've got a dirty great gap underneath it, and we're sort of wondering how it's staying up. So we thought we'd go look.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all off. Those who are getting off. All who are staying on, or stay on, I guess.
Wonderful.
All right. Let's jump off, Dagmar. Take Glow with you, please.
Yes, good call, because I'm about to go look into a darkened area without dark vision, so glow
Oh,
probably
no.
helpful.
Sure, I was helping you. I wasn't just going to use her to get a look down there myself.
No, of course not.
No, of course not. Historically, I'm known for my selflessness.
Indeed. Paragon of virtue.
Truly. Anyway, have fun. Come on,
Just
Dagmar.
kiss already.
Okay.
Ugh.
Brat takes off and starts to glide down over the side of the rock. Orsi and Dagmar, what do you do?
Do we have to
We're
make a
gonna-
rock check?
Yeah, roll for rock.
I am.
Dagmar, you know rocks. Is there like a point of hitting the rock? Look, I dig things out of rocks. And when I say I dig things out of rocks, I mean I watch other people dig things out of rocks.
I mean, ideally, we would find somewhere a little uneven where there might be a little bit of a seam that we can dig our chisels in and have a little
Okay.
whack. Otherwise,
Sounds
we'll
good.
just be chipping at flat rock, and that is
Good. I
a
see.
well-made ticket to a broken chisel.
Broken chisel. All right then. I guess we will search for a rock seam.
So
Yes.
I'm
Those
going to
sound like
I'm
rock
going to
words.
say, especially since Dagmar grew up surrounded by rock, that I am just going to get a strength roll with advantage for Dagmar to break off a piece of rock or pieces of rock if she also wants to do it for Orsi.
Yeah, pieces. We got 2 19s, so 20.
Ooh.
Cool.
Ah.
Yep.
Buff dwarf.
She doesn't need a lift. She just inherently has the spirit of a lifter.
Yep. So you quite effectively chip off a few pieces, leaving these just little holes where they were. They come off very, very nicely. The edges crumble away exactly as you would expect rock to do.
Dagmar, you are a professional.
Yeah.
You really should work for the society. I need archaeologists like you who actually know stuff about like things.
It would be nice to have like an actual job. I'm gonna
I mean,
say.
okay, you do have an actual job, but it's literally the same job as me.
Fetching stuff for easy.
Where, yes, we're on a job right now, we're just not getting paid.
Is that a job or an internship?
I try not to think about it.
Oh, anyway,
Internships
I
to
am
make more
going
coffee.
to give.
Wow, the
Orsi
echo! I can hear
roll.
Morzor from all the way up here.
Wow.
And arguably, you have a bag of holding containing your pay.
Oh, we got paid in Helga.
Is that
And a few other
I mean,
things.
truly friendships are the riches, aren't they, Dagmar?
True.
And a very
On
nice
that
dagger.
note, and a very nice dagger. But yes, on that note, I have been meaning to apologize for smacking you in the face the other day. I
When
am
did
sorry.
you do that again? When did you hit me?
When we all came back from our adventures in
Oh, yes.
the,
You were very
our
hungry.
various hell dimensions, I had a really bad time, and
It's-
I
it's
shouldn't
very-
have hit you.
It's fine. Look, honestly, the only person in the party who hasn't slapped me yet is Morzor, and so I'm slowly working my way towards that so I can have all three.
He's you in like a really benevolent way when he's
It was
choking
caring.
to death on those spores.
Yes,
So yeah.
aiming for the face. So just one more to go, and then I'll have all three. Perfect trifecta.
Well, feel free to slap me at any point in retribution.
I don't think that's a good look for my person, so I won't.
Okay, respectable choice.
Yes.
Okay.
I dropped a book on your head, so
You did.
Mhm.
You did.
I did.
So
Right,
Brat
chuck those rocks in the bag of holding.
Brat descends down the side of the rock like a VTOL coming in for landing, and it comes down to the bottom. So it is. It's like looking up now at a cliff face with this cavernous. There must be a name for it. You know, the area under a rock which has been eroded away. Except you can now see quite clearly that it really is the entire length of the rock. There's nothing under almost any of it. It looks as though that just part of the hill happens to be in contact with the bottom of the rock, and a bit of sediment has somehow appeared around it. But most of this rock is not resting on anything, as far as you can see. But it is very dark under there, so there might be something right in the middle that's supporting it.
Real luck is just hanging there. That's strange.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the mountains eroded underneath it, something like that.
Oh no, it looks like the mountain's sort of leaning against it.
Hmm.
Weird.
Well, all right, shall we poke around inside?
Well, I mean, is there a good landing spot? Are we landing yet? We're just gonna sort of
You've
doing our
landed.
flyby.
You've
Okay.
landed? Yeah.
Mhm.
Hirip, would you
I
like to come
will.
with, or are you going to stay here with Brat?
Hirip says, "Oh, we're going to back off a bit."
That seems fair.
Yep.
Cool. Alrighty, well, I'll throw up some dancing lights.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I assume you've dismounted at this point.
Yeah, we climbed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Blow
dancing
his
lights
wits.
as I dismount.
Cool.
Goes
And,
on Morzord, because Morzord's bigger.
and Hirip
A lot more space to sit down.
immediately takes Brat back up into the air. All right. So the dancing lights appear. Where do you send them?
So I've got 120 feet that I can play around with as a range for them. So I'm
Mhm.
just running them around the underhang there and trying to figure out whether there's anything further in or sort of where it ends or that sort of stuff.
Okay, that's going to be a perception check, please, from both of you, I assume, because I assume Morzod's also curious.
We're both looking.
Yeah.
That is a 2 for a total of 8.
Mm.
Holy shit, son! That's my natty 20 for a total of
Hey, there
23.
we go.
Okay. Yeah, Vitericus, you see nothing of interest. It's just dark under there. Morzod, you see things hanging down from the rock that at first you think they might be stalactites. But as you look more closely, you see a little bit of movement. There's a little bit of fur. And you realize these are giant bats.
Ah,
These are bats the size of...
rats.
Yeah, what are they? Their size? They're big as a car, I'd say.
Are
That's
we
an
are we
unusual
are we
size.
talking like a Forester or a Mini Cooper? Like what kind of?
Okay, we're now getting into... I don't know cars, so...
Right. A big car driven
Yeah,
by
2 doors
one
or 4?
person.
It's big, okay? They are big
Oh, yeah,
bats.
fair.
Big bats.
Fair.
Big bats.
Torturing the DM.
Okay.
And Morzod, with a natural 20, you can see that the ones near the dancing lights appear to be looking at it nervously, as if it's the lights are agitating them.
Hey, Fiddy.
Mm.
These big what do you call them? Bats. That's right. It's one of those big, huge ones. You like? I
They're
think
just
you like.
rocks. It's fine.
I know. I think you like to worry them. Can you bring them like just a bit further down?
Sure.
That's a
So
lot
I'll
of
just
bats.
lower them down to like ground level.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, I mean that sort of makes sense because like they like hanging down where it's all dark and what. Uh,
Hmm.
well, they weren't keeping it up.
And so you look, Morzod, and now Viterica, as your eyes are adjusting, you are starting to discern that there are a lot of bats down here. Hundreds?
Oh man, the
Mm,
poop on the ground must be
yeah.
incredible.
There is a smell of fireball
Mhm.
component,
Components.
material component coming out from
Yeah,
under this.
Mm,
Does
mm.
does Horsey need some of this stuff?
I don't know. Do wizards use bat shit?
It's part of Fireball, I think.
Oh, that explains more than it doesn't.
Yes, this is true. Okay. Did you see anything further in? Like, is there an end to this cavern, or is it bats all the way down?
So with a natty 20, what did I say?
Yeah, with a natural 20, this cavernous space goes very deep, and it's hard because the light doesn't. Yeah, the light still has a limited radius in terms of how much light it sheds, but you're not seeing any kind of structure down there. Just bats.
Hey, Lord, I can't. I was thinking maybe there'd be something in the middle or what, but I don't think there is. I think it's just a shitload of bats.
All right. So are we fighting 100 diprotodon-sized bats, or like
I
1,000
mean,
bat-sized diprotodons? What are we doing here?
I how about we don't fight them?
It seems like a good idea.
Just kind of leave them where they is. They're
Yeah, let's
really
do that.
big. Yeah.
And I assume I can see the bats at this stage too, right?
Yes.
And have identified
Yeah.
them as bats.
I'm thinking about have you ever seen one of those videos where they've got bats hanging and they've inverted it and it looks like a goth nightclub and they're all just walking around in their
Oh,
cloaks?
acceptable.
It's a fantastic genre of video if you've never seen it. Anyway,
Okay, well, do we back out slowly and leave these bats to it, I guess?
well, I mean, there's sleeping, but I don't think I want to be here at night time.
No, well, there is no nighttime, right? It's the Feywild.
Oh,
These
that's
bats
a
must be
good
so
point.
angry.
Whoa.
Where do they go? Where do they come from?
When do they decide when it's time to sleep? That's weird,
But
actually.
did they come from somewhere else? Is there a portal further in? Should we send Glow?
I mean, look, I'm not seeing anything. I don't know if Glow wants to go in there. He's looking at Glow.
Glow looks at Morzod, and Orsi, you actually get a sort of telepathic question mark, which you interpret as "Should I go in?"
I assume she's also seen the big bats.
Yeah, she'd have to see him.
Yeah, or
Guess you could roll for her.
yeah, Glow's definitely aware of the big bats,
Yeah.
but he's Orsi.
Wouldn't Glow
I don't
sort
know.
of be? Wouldn't she sort of be communicating?
If
things?
Orsi tells him, yes, but it's up to her if she tells him or not.
Yeah, I think you'll get a sense from Glow that there are things under the rock. There are creatures under the rock.
Historically, she's not really a fan of creatures, so she's going to give death glares to anyone who suggests she goes anywhere.
Yeah, no, Morzod's he doesn't falter for that.
No, entirely fair. All right, well,
We'll have
I
to
do so
ask.
desperately want to know what's down there, though.
I mean, they look kind of like they're asleep, but then the ones that had the lights next to them were looking kind of a bit
I
fidgety.
don't think it's worth it. It'll be one of life's little mysteries, I think.
You could lose an eye like that.
Did we have giant bats in Rivermead?
I don't know.
Not that we saw.
I don't think we asked anyone. if
Not
there
that you
was
can remember.
bats.
You didn't
No.
encounter
We have
any.
giant bats in the material plane, full stop.
No, so well, man, Orsie's voice really carries down here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like you're standing right next to me. Huh.
Oh,
We just established that we're all just a little bit linked.
It's the
well,
soft blend left over.
Yeah.
all right. Well, I guess we
Okay.
should go then. If we're not going to go further in, and we sort of know there's giant bats down here now.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Chirp if he's seen them.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. We'll ask Hero, see if he's.
You'd think he would have.
Yeah. So I guess we'll walk out and make some kind of prearranged signal to.
Yep.
Yeah, he's probably doing circle work up there.
You can see Hirip and Brat descend towards you to pick you up. We cut back to Orsi and Dagmar. So you've got your rocks. What are you doing now while you're waiting to be collected?
probably like fixing each other's hair.
Yeah. Oh, she's probably braiding her hair. She wants it.
Yeah, we're probably like sunning ourselves with a little hair party.
Oh man, you got the folding silver thing so that you get the light on under your chin.
No,
as well?
Aussie's the goth under the umbrella.
parasol.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Dagmar's getting
know,
her freckles
Dagmar.
on.
Like, the sun's really weird and weak and low here. I don't really know if it's good for your skin.
Eh,
Is it the same sun? I don't know. It must be, right?
trying not to think about too much of how this place works.
Realm space. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And with
What do you
that,
think those bozos are doing?
that's when you see those bozos hovering towards you on Brat.
Oh, look. There they are. Those are our bozos.
Hey.
Hey team, how's it going? Did you get your rocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. What was Glow getting upset about? What did you do?
He's
Bats.
full of bats.
Giant
like,
bats.
huge.
Bats like Diprotodon sized.
They were really big, and there was lots
Europe.
of them. Like,
Here, do you know about this? Giant
Yeah.
bats.
Do you guys have bats at all, let alone giant ones?
And it says,
I mean, they do obviously because we found
Okay,
them.
well, yes, but
Hirip says, "Oh yeah, I've seen giant bats flying about sometime. Didn't know where they were coming from, so that's good to know. Thanks for that."
What would they eat?
Ah, fruit mostly.
Fruit.
They have to be some really big fruit.
Oh,
I
have
mean,
you
you
seen?
saw the
Really?
size of the flowers of the tree.
You've seen the trees around here, right?
That's true. That's true. I didn't think of that. Oh.
Hmm.
I mean that actually stands to reason, don't it? If I got really big fruit, I could have really big bats.
Big fruit.
yeah.
Well, big tree, big flower, big fruit, big bat. It's evolution. See?
Hey.
Science.
That makes
Fine.
sense. All right.
But have
Mystery
you
solved,
always
eh?
had giant bats, or are they a new thing? Or
Do you know what else is weird though, Dags? There's nothing
What?
holding it up.
Oh. What?
The rock. There's nothing holding it up. It's just sort of up.
Wait, we're standing on a giant rock that's casually leaning against a hill?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
no, we should
The
get
eel's
off
the eel's
this-
touching it, but like it's not. Yeah, it's nothing underneath. It's just all bats.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's structurally a nightmare. We should go.
What?
Okay.
No one make any sudden rocky movements.
I'm gonna say it seems kind of stable,
I
but now all of a
mean-
sudden I don't want to stamp on it.
We
That
chipped
seems fine.
pieces off it. Yeah. Oh, and
It'll
the
be fine.
pieces that we chipped off, if we pick them up and let them go, do they fall down? Or do
They
float?
do.
They do.
They do. They are affected by gravity.
All right.
Gravity works weird here.
Let's go to Blood Lake.
indeed. Here, just before we take off, that whirlpool, did it sound something like this? And I'm going to simulate a bone stalker laugh.
Ooh.
His reaction is, "What the? It's
You're right there, Viddy.
so I can see you're not done an old freaking me out thing."
That's
No,
super triggering.
apologies.
for
It's a thing we've
Eric.
encountered before. If it's exactly the same as the sound coming out of the whirlpool, we kind of know what's in there.
I'm not sure I'd say it's exactly the same, but it's freaking me out exactly the same.
Okay, good.
You
See?
should-
Science.
Same vibe,
You should
yes.
Not go near the whirlpool.
Same vibe.
Whirlpool.
Well, I'm starting to have second thoughts about agreeing to take you a lot around. No, that's fine. You're a bit weird, but who am I to say? We're a bit weird too, I guess.
We have lived
We've
quite a
seen-
life in the last
We're
month or however long it's been.
seeing
Yeah.
some
Month
stuff.
3.
How long has it been?
It was 2 months until Providence exploded, and then it was an extra month.
Mozart is conspicuously quiet.
It was a month has passed since the siege of Providence. So
Right.
So
So, like,
all up,
yeah,
with not including
Our adventures.
Sci-fi adventures, it's been 3.
2
Or
to 3
however long
months. Yeah.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shall we?
Yes.
Yes, Blood Lake, let's go.
Yep.
Okay, you climb back into the basket, and Brat takes to the air again. And we shall take a short break here. And when we return, we shall see what horrors or joys await them at the Blood Lake, where nothing terrible could possibly happen. We'll be back in a moment. And we are back, and we have had our break. Our heroes have taken off from the big rock, as it's marked on the map, which appears to be identical to the capstone of the Standing Stones of Rivermeet. And they are riding Brat now towards the Blood Lake. So is there anything any of you would like to do while you're making the second leg of this journey?
Orsi will be annoyed that he forgot to check the surrounding rocks to see if they were the same.
Ozzy, do you know anything that would make a rock just sort of hang there with nothing under it?
I mean, magic, but I don't really
Did
know
it
what
did it
kind.
feel real magic? I mean, you'd be able to tell, right?
If I detected magic, I might be able to tell what kind. But the Feywilds is kind of just like the prime material plane has magic, but the Feywilds is like saturated in it.
I
Hey.
will, however, get an Arcana check from Orsi to have a wild guess at what might be happening with this rock.
17.
17. Well, with a
Pretty good.
17, you remember that the capstone in Rivermeet, it didn't seem to be hovering. It did seem to be supported by the Standing Stones. So maybe that rock exists in both the Feywild and the material plane. Maybe it is the same rock.
Mozart isn't smart enough to draw that conclusion, but Zindi was thinking it.
What if? So, Dagmar,
Mm.
what if we go back to Rivermeet if we ever get back to the prime material plane?
Mhm.
What if we check the rock that we just chipped stuff off? What would you think that it's also been chipped off on the prime material plane? What if it's the same rock? What if the energy of the Standing Stones of the prime material plane is what's keeping this rock aloft?
Would
You think
Ma have any scope of what Orsi is talking about, given that she knows nothing about magic and only knows about rocks?
Is it dwarven legends?
I think you don't need to know a lot about magic to understand maybe what if it's the same rock.
Right.
Right?
would Dagmar have heard of anything like this before?
No, I would say no.
Okay.
Even Orsi hasn't heard of anything like this before, but is just speculating.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Could we fly up that high back in Rivermeet?
We
Is
can
that
now.
a thing we can do now?
I can do
Okay.
it now.
Okay. Let's do that if we're in the area. I think that's the only way we can solve
Do you
that.
remember
address
where we
that.
chipped off the pieces of rock from? We should have marked it or something.
Oh, you know, I remember.
Oh, all right. Well, if you remember, then perfect.
Yeah, I just got to follow the seam.
Orsi will postulate on the rock for the next 10 minutes.
Dagmar's head
Yeah.
hurts.
And then write poetry in his little book.
Anything else?
So if it's the same rock, do you reckon those bats could ever make their way to Rivermeet?
They'd need a portal, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Well, surely there's a portal somewhere there, right?
Well, there's a rock.
Right.
What if the rock is the portal? Is that a thing?
But they were sitting on the rock, correct? They were hanging off it.
They was
Yeah.
hanging on it, yeah, like normal
Right.
bats, but real big.
So
Right, and there weren't
if the
any.
rock was, you touch it and you go to the prime material plane, well, we didn't,
True.
unless a coalesced version of us did leak through into the prime material plane. I don't know.
That's weird. That's
Maybe we'll
weird.
find a blonde and a black hair on the rock when we see it next.
Was you plucking again? You need to stop doing that, all right?
We were
Dagmar
braining.
still has all her eyelashes. They hadn't done anything. Accusations.
Look, I know you've been real stressed, but you got to try and find some other way of letting it out, you know?
Well, it's to either be self-destructive or do it to someone else. And Dagmar's the easiest for me to reach.
That is a fair point.
Someone else is always preferable.
They told me to redirect my energy.
I
And
mean,
I redirected down there.
he's definitely doing it, yeah.
Baby steps.
Mhm.
Blood Lake. Blood Lake.
Yeah, I'll be coming up on that.
Well, if you chant Blood Lake for the next 2 hours, you will eventually reach there.
Dagmar's
Yay.
considering it.
So eventually, Hira shouts out, "All right, can see the Blood Lake now. How close you lot want to get?"
Dagmar is gonna be like thwomp to the side of the basket, peeping over again.
Well, Dagmar seems insistent on perhaps swimming in the Blood Lake, so...
I didn't say I
Because
was
you
gonna
can,
swim in
please.
it. That was Batericus was gonna swim in it. I just want to.
Yeah, but your energy says I want to go swimming.
I do want to touch it.
Okay. Hira says, "Oh, no way in hell I'm landing this thing on the lake, so I'll drop you near it if that's what you want."
Nia sounds good.
Are
Okay.
you aware of the Nine Hells?
I'll say, just use the word hell.
Yeah, everybody's heard of elves.
Good.
Yeah,
No
there you
reason I
go.
wasn't asking for any reason.
So you start your descent. Can I get a perception check from Dagmar, who is very keen?
You sure can.
Let's see if that stuff.
14.
14.
Too excited.
Um,
Bouncing up and down a bit.
it is a lake. As you get closer, you're starting to see sort of fringing around the shore, which is definitely bright red. Very much a scarlet blood-like color.
Is it like frothy?
There is a bit of froth, and it is reddish.
Gross, you guys. It's totally a blood lake.
Choppy on the Blood Lake today, I suppose.
Gross.
Something wrong with you guys.
And so Brett comes into land. You're currently about, I'd say about 200 feet away from the Blood Lake. That's as close as Hirup's prepared to take his best friend. Now, the landscape here is rather different to anything else you've seen in the Feywild. It looks more barren. It's dirt, it's rock. There are lots of dead trees, all bleached white. It does look a bit similar to Mercer's past around here, but so far you've not observed any horrific abominations striding around.
It's right there.
Hmm.
So
blood
is anyone
lake's
else
pretty bad.
getting some flashbacks to Horror Canyon?
I don't
you
like it
think-
much.
Do you think that the blood is like the coalesced life force of everything in the area, like liquefied?
You keep
Um,
asking me questions really high above my brain grade.
I'm
Here-
postulating.
So I
Hirup's-
do wonder how it's all got there.
Hirup says, well, this is a conversation I do not want to be around for. So we're going to back off a bit. Look,
That's fair.
if you need us to come pick you up, just make a noise, wave, we'll come get you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I'll take Aunt
Thank
Helga
you.
out of the bag.
Oh, good idea.
No, please don't do that ever
Okay.
again. Okay, right?
I could laugh
Oh.
again. I could, well, laugh scream. If that would be preferable.
I'm
I
going.
could send you a message, but I'm not going to.
We'll just say hi.
He lifts off with Black Brat, and they go and perch on one of the hills nearby, looking down at the
Something
lake.
that's far enough away from both the water and these people.
Yeah. Right, Mozord, how's your throwing arm?
I mean, that's a question. What am I throwing?
Rocks in.
Yeah, find a rock. I mean, we're like, what, 200 feet away? Can you throw that far?
I don't know.
That's
Maybe.
pretty
Right.
strong.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a day of
I mean,
discovery.
I don't spend a lot of time throwing stuff. But, do I find any rocks, boss?
Or can I get perception checks now that
Yeah.
you're actually closer to the lake and at ground
Guess we
level?
gotta look for
Everyone, or
look for a good flat one.
Anyone who's looking at the lake, basically.
11.
17.
We're percepting.
19
Okay.
for Vitericus.
Ooh, yeah, that's a 12. I'm looking for flat rocks. I'm not looking at the blood.
This is helping Mozord look for flat rock.
Morzod, you do actually find there are a few pebbles, and
skimmers?
one or two of which would probably be suitable for skimming, yeah.
Hey, look, there's one. There's one.
Perfect.
Dagmar, you see little, around the shores of the lake, as well as this froth, there are things, creatures.
Oh
It's
my
sort
god,
of-
horseshoe crabs.
Well, they sort of look like large mosquitoes. You know,
Oh.
maybe not
Oh,
enormous, they're
no.
about basketball sized.
Oh,
Has anyone
Um,
read The Scar? China
No.
Mayville?
No, but I've played D&D.
And these things are just happily perched on the edge of the shore and seem to have these proboscises just stuck into the lake and are happily drinking away.
oh, gross vampire bugs.
The
I don't like
Ptericus,
that.
you see that, but then your eye is drawn to something else. There is something in the water, in the blood, which the closer you look, the more it looks like blood. There is a face looking at you. Seems humanoid. A couple of eyes, and you feel like you are being watched.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Hey,
I
old
have...
friend. How's it going?
Oh, he's talking to her. We're 200 feet away.
He's
Um,
waving at the
I'll
blood
call that.
mermaids.
As soon as,
What are you waving
as
at?
soon as you wave, the head just goes whoop under the surface.
Terracus, who are you talking to?
Bloody Wugs? Maybe? I'm unsure.
I turned around for 1 second and you started talking to creatures in the blood lake.
What is the
Look
Look at
opposite?
all these bugs.
What is the opposite
Bloody
of giving
works.
someone inspiration? Can you take someone's... Actually, I will remind you,
Oh,
you
this is
all
damage.
have inspiration
I
left
know, I
over
still have one. You
yeah,
can take
from-
it away from me for
from
that.
your journeys through the River of Dreams.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
But yes, I will go. We seem to have some kind of blood-dwelling merfolk, something. Actually, can you guys... I'd like to try something. Can you guys watch my gear for a moment?
Yes.
You are not going into that blood lake, mister.
Oh, yes, I am.
What about those weird buzzy things flying around?
Well, they're drinking the blood lake. It's fine. They're not going to get me.
Hey, Vitericus!
Yeah.
What are you full of?
Shit.
Blood!
That's what everyone else
So
tells me.
that's where he's going to be voted.
That makes way more sense. Yes. Okay.
I mean,
cool.
if you didn't say it, I was.
Yeah, they'd
Even
have to
Borzov
work
was
harder
gonna
to get it
roast you
from
on that
him,
one.
though.
Right? Like, there's a smorgasbord here. They're not going to go chasing the one like live animal.
Oh,
Why
man,
wouldn't they? Fresh meat or blood.
And I'm going to be submerged. It'll be fine.
What if the... At least take some notes.
Can I just
before we
point
go into
out,
Blood
the
Lake.
last time you did this, you did actually get wet. Where up, like with the, you did the swimming and you didn't die, but you were all covered in the water when you got out, and that's nasty over there. And you're thinking about going in it. Dags, what the fuck is it with these guys and jumping in liquids that they shouldn't?
Well, see, this is why I think we should give Vitericus that freaky fucking crown. Because
Because he might die all the time. That is,
There's also
I mean,
the devil.
he just
I can
keeps
see
doing
I can see
this.
why you're thinking that, and I can see he's probably going to lose his eye here or something.
I
But,
don't know
like-
if we're stacking the bad things.
Yeah, it's kind of like you ever
At
play that
least-
game where you got the stack of things, you got to make it taller without knocking it over.
Can you maybe... Oh, yes, the Grand Tower of the Wizard of Jenga.
You mean gold bullions?
Christ, you dwarves!
Man. Yeah.
Vitericus,
Stackable gold
perhaps-
bullion, if only.
Vitericus, the face has appeared again, and is now looking very intently at you.
Hello.
Is that another one of your
But-
girlfriends?
What I will
We-
try is
We've
I
had
will,
a talk about this, Vinny.
I will whistle a universal speech into its head.
Hmm.
What's the range on that? Or just sight?
60 feet, so I've got to get a bit closer. Is it
Okay.
60 feet from the shore if I sort of run up and...
It is closer than 60 feet to the shore, but you would need to be within about 30 feet of the shore.
Okay.
Oh,
How big
grabbing
are
range.
mosquito creatures? How big do they look from here?
Yes, good
Yeah,
point.
they look about this big.
Like a solid puppy.
You
Yeah.
ever been to
Basketball,
Newcastle?
yeah.
You ever been to Newcastle? The greys that
Rats?
they have up there are about that size.
Oh.
Ugh.
They
Vitericus,
sound like
I-
they sound like a Harley idling.
Well,
I'll
look,
cautiously approach.
let's all not, and let's watch what happens to Vitericus.
Okay.
That was my plan.
Yeah,
Um,
mine
I'm
too.
tipping.
also.
I'm tipping he's gonna get eaten. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, me too. Oh, we could do betting if you want.
I am also going to slide the whispering mask over my face again.
10 gold says
Just
he
for
gets
safety.
bitten by one of those mosquito things.
Well, he could get bit by something, or his new friend could pull him under. So that's drowning.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get grabbed.
I like to think this
He's gonna get
conversation is happening as Vitericus is walking away.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
100%.
All right, so we've got getting grabbed. I think he's going to get bitten by one of the mosquitoes. And Morzo, did you say he just would get bitten in general, or?
Did you look getting eaten? I think there's something big down there that's
Eaten.
gonna bite him.
I mean, track record. I think
Mm.
he's due to be in something else's gullet right about now. So, all right,
Um,
well. You should have. Maybe a death ward or something would have been useful. But are we so far away now? There's no
I mean,
point,
he's
Morzo.
it's all the way down there. I'm not going near that thing.
No. Death ward self, perhaps.
Mm.
Self-preservation.
Vitericus,
Right.
as you get closer, by the time you come to about 30 feet, this face has swum a little closer, and you now see more of them. It appears to be a woman's face, a young woman, quite beautiful.
Blood sirens.
He's.
And she is looking at you with intense curiosity, and she seems that there's almost an eagerness in it. She's
Does she have a humorous crab and a small fish with her?
no,
Is
she
she going
does
to come out
not.
of the water and it's just like bones?
Man.
It's like
Kind of what I'm expecting. So
Skylar?
basically, once I get to range, I'm going to stop advancing. So
Mhm.
we're going to keep a good 60-foot barrier there. And I'm going to go with a...
GM, how far can that thing jump?
Well, we will find out, I guess.
Hey.
10-foot vertical leap, man.
Interesting. I'm still just going to put my universal speech into her for now.
Mhm.
So I'll whistle a shade into her head and go, "Hello there, my friend. Do you speak the common tongue?" Nod for yes, head shake for no.
Dagmar has her bow within grasp, by the way.
Okay. She rises up a little more. Still made of flesh. It's not just bones, from the neck down, but completely naked, and humanoid, but with long fey-like ears, black hair that's just drenched with blood, so it's all sort of matted and stuck to her skin. You do notice as you look around, you would expect the blood around, if it is blood, to be congealed and blackened towards the edges of the lake, but it all seems quite fresh. And she looks at you and says, in common, "Hi, we don't get many visitors here."
Oh, he's so dead.
Yeah, he's gonna get eaten.
No, I can't imagine you do. We're only here because by chance we found our way here from the material plane. We've been in this area, in the material plane, and now we are here in. I assume this is the Feywild. Is that correct?
Oh, you're from the other side. Oh, that's so exciting. Why didn't you come here and tell me all about it? I've never left this lake, you see.
Well, see, that's kind of what I want to ask you about, right? On the other side, there are mountains that sort of soar, but here there just seems to be the lake. What's the deal there? Do you have cities in the lake? Are you?
Oh, no, no cities in the lake. Just me and the others, and and these creatures. They're not really, one of me, but they seem to like drinking the waters, and I'm not going to. It's not my role to stop them.
That seems entirely fair. You wouldn't happen to know where the waters come from, do you? They're such a different color to other waters I have seen.
Oh, no, it's been like this for as long as I can remember.
I see. And how deep does it go?
Oh, quite deep.
Wonderful.
Why didn't you come in? It is lovely and warm.
I would love to, but I am afraid we have other appointments and I must be off. I've got to try and find my way back. You see, we had a very important mission on the other side, and I have to get back to it. Is that something you can help with? Do you know where there is a portal back, or?
She says, "Oh yes, I'm sure there's one in the lake."
Yes, I had thought that perhaps there would be one there. Tommy, do you know much about the other side?
Biddy, is you getting eaten yet?
She says,
without breaking eye contact with the blood thing, I'm going to say not yet.
All right.
Oh.
She
I hope he
says,
gets bitten by one of the mosquito things.
Is that a friend of yours?
Friend is strong. See, here's the thing. I'm a limb farmer by trade, and so I need a constant supply of fresh stock.
Oh. Well, this is a most unusual request, but we actually have plenty of that in here if you'd like to come and collect some.
Do you? How exciting. Unfortunately, I'm about to go and deliver a very well. I mean, you heard the walking limbs that I'm about to deliver. I'm about to deliver those to a very prestigious client, and I'm afraid I cannot. Well, just judging by your hair, there is going to be some transfer from the lake to me if I go in. Could you perhaps provide me with some limbs from the bottom of your lake?
Oh, why yes, of course. You need not step in. Just come close to the shore. I don't. You see, I do not like to leave. It is. This is my home.
That is entirely fair. You can leave them on the shore, and I will have one of my other limb farms collect them, and we will carry them with my gratitude. And a promise that I will bring back
legs.
well, a certain cut, depending on the limbs I am able to sell from this lake.
She swims closer to the shore and is now starting to walk out.
Got legs?
She has legs.
She naked.
Has legs and is completely naked. And appears to have no shame and has the blood of the lake all running down her as she steps out
Man,
and says,
if you're into that.
well, please come. But I'm afraid I can't just leave things here for you.
No, look at that. She's
That
hopping
is
out
entirely
everything.
fair.
She's got no clothes on whatsoever.
He has absolutely no clothes on, Wadsworth. You're absolutely right.
None at all.
Yes, well, this has been most enlightening. Thank you for thank you for indulging my questions from the other side. Is there anything you would like to know about the other side before I must away? You see, I'm on a very tight schedule.
And she says, oh, I'm almost afraid to ask, but do you hear his voice too?
I hear many voices, my friend. You would have to specify which he.
The master. I do know his name, but I don't think I'm supposed to say it.
Ah, I see. That does make it slightly tricky, you see. I have delivered to such masters before. You see, I mean, limbs are constantly in favor with masters such as yours, I'm sure you understand. So I know some names. Could you tell me this one to see if it is one I have dealt with?
Business card?
Friend.
Yes. Which grift do you think he's running? Do you think it's the limb farmer or the lawyer?
Oh, I think
Doesn't
it's
he-
probably his like doctor thing. I think he's
I don't know,
checking her
doesn't-
pulse.
Doesn't he lean over real far and he's like he's got a bad back or something? when
That's
he's doing
true.
that one?
That's the lawyer.
Yeah,
That's the
Let's-
lawyer, yeah.
Make
Yeah,
this
there's-
Running the
a
doctor scam at the tree.
persuasion
tell-
check, please.
Persuasion check?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because the thing you're asking is not really part of the deception.
That's true. Let me just double
Maybe
check
we
all
can
of
make
my
it a performance check.
abilities.
#bad life.
Make sure that I'm doing everything right and I'm not messing you around more than I should be. Persuasion check, you say?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
that is a 28 for the persuasion roll.
It's
Wow.
fucked.
Gotta start picking up those DCs.
Okay.
Oh man.
It's
So
the
so
only
we're-
thing I do. I put all of my skills into lying and talking to people. I can't.
Okay.
so he's found some moistened bint and he's
He's like a big evil tampon.
But
I don't
does
like
she have
her.
a
Oh my
scimitar?
God, did you have? Yeah, I mean, if she's got a weapon that
Look, strange
Well, to
women.
become
Yeah,
the king of.
Strange
Bloody
women
hell.
living in ponds distributing swords is not a. Anyway.
Yeah.
She
Government.
She
Please.
sort of looks
I for one
bashful.
am an anarcho-communist.
She looks bashfully away. You'd think she'd be blushing if she wasn't already covered in blood.
Drenched.
And then she says, for you, I suppose I can.
Oh,
Oh,
He's saying to her.
his
Flirting with the blood lady.
his
He
na-
has no shame.
Think
his
about his
name-
other choice in girlfriends.
His name is, and as she says, his name is, another voice starts to speak, saying, my name is. At the first few sounds are quiet, but then it starts to grow in a rumbling sound. And until, like, the ground itself all around you is speaking. And together she and this other voice say, my name is Guldark. And you all hear that. I need all of you to give me wisdom saving throws, please.
Oh dear.
Yikes.
Charmed or not for the wisdom saving throw?
Oh, I have such bad wisdom.
This is not about being charmed.
Okay, cool.
Where's
Oh,
that?
Oh, that is. Oh,
Saving.
shit,
Fuck,
that's
I have a +5 and I rolled a goddamn 4. 9.
That's
a
a
natural
20,
one.
Oh, you
Oh,
deserve that.
no.
26 for me.
Wow.
Oh my god. The
Was it
Sorry, what was
cleric
the name as
coming
well?
in with-
Morzod
Discord
is
sort
not
of exploded.
smart, but he's wise.
So Morzod is the only one who succeeds on this save. Now, Orsi, for you, the situation, everything that's happening around you, you suddenly find yourself starting to despair. What is the point in all of this? You are never going to get the credit that you deserve. You're never going to get the attention, the love, it is never going to come to you. You might as well give
Not a
up now.
phase, Mum.
Dagmar, this whole thing is suddenly hilarious to you. This is the most ridiculous thing that has ever happened, and you can't wait to see what happens next. Nothing could possibly get you down at this point. Vitericus, you want to take a swim?
Oh
I
no. Jesus Christ.
Perfect. What was the name again? Sorry, the Discord sort of exploded.
Yeah,
Guldag.
Discord didn't like it much.
Yeah,
Guldag.
Guldag, spelt Guldag.
Cool duck.
Yeah.
Dog.
We seem to
And
have some.
Morzod is the only person in a position to make a knowledge check to try and work out what that means. So I'll let Zindy, you can choose. Is it going to be, say, history, arcana, or religion? And whichever you choose will have an impact on how difficult it'll be.
I had a -1 on all 3 of those. They're all
That's funny. That's funny. That's
in-phase.
funny.
So
They're all
sorry.
in-phase.
just choose whichever
Yeah,
one
10s and
you
20s,
think
let's
it's
go.
most
Look,
likely
I
to
guess
be.
I guess I'll go for religion because he's at
Cool.
least been near a religion book.
Hmm.
You went to God school.
Yeah, but I got an 11 because I wasn't listening that day.
Yeah. No, with an 11, you've never heard this name before.
No.
But
I still don't like it.
Yeah, with the rumbling that you just heard, you're kind of happy that you've never heard this name before.
Yeah. It sounds like not a good
You
time.
do get the impression that simply the utterance of the name is enough to possibly instill madness.
It's got some of that
Yeah. Which begins to play itself out as you observe what your allies do. So let's start with Orsi.
He just starts listening to My Chemical Romance and
I think he feels all of those things on a daily basis, but he's been dealing with it. But I think he just starts walking towards the lake.
Okay. What does Dagmar do?
Dagmar is cackling because Guldag sounds like the shittest version of her name, but like with extra letters. And she just thinks
nice.
it's the funniest fucking thing ever. So she's just giggling maniacally, and she has stopped reaching for her bow, and she is probably gripping on to Morsey and like looking at him like he would like instinctively understand why she's laughing because, you know,
that's funny.
it's such an obvious funny joke.
What is Vitericus doing? Well, I think Vitericus is also walking towards the lake.
Well, yes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, "Wonderful, not one I've met yet." My dear, I didn't catch your name either, but shall we go for a swim while we discuss it? And I will hold my arm out.
So she,
bloody
As I walk
believe
towards
it.
the shore.
as you come to the shore, she reaches out to take your hand, and as she does, Vitericus, you see dozens of other arms reach out from the water, all various humanoid, but different colors, different shades. They all seem healthy. They're not undead, but if you look, you can see they do seem to stop, as though they are just arms and nothing else.
I don't like this. I don't like any of this. I don't like the water, and I don't like the hands, and I don't like the ways they's walking towards something that they're shouldn't be putting their feet in again. I don't like
What's
it.
the-
Dags, could you stop for just a minute?
What's the point? What's the point? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of everything. I'm sick of all of you.
Okay.
This is exactly
Morsey!
like a Blood Lake song. I need to write home and tell them they were right.
Oh my!
There's no point, Morzord. We're not getting out of here. We're not doing anything right. I'm never going to get credit. No one's ever going to say that they love me. My dad's never going to say he loves me. What's the point?
You ain't even been drinking. What the fuck is this?
Vitericus,
That's the worst.
Vitericus, you can now hear simultaneously from behind you. You can hear the laughter of Dagmar and the wailing of Orsi, and you hear similar sounds coming from inside the lake: laughter and tears, hilarity and anguish.
Shit.
as
Go to the
these
blood lake.
limbs reach out and start to pull you into the lake. Now, I will get another wisdom saving throw from the three of you who are currently affected, please.
Spell that Morzord has that gives everyone wisdom saving throw advantage.
I can't guide you all at once. It's a touch thing.
No, you have a spell that gives saving throws. Beacon of Hope.
Beam and hope.
13.
I don't think I have that one equipped.
Nat 20.
Hey! Thank you.
Cool.
Fucking thank you.
Yeah, I got a 10.
Well, it's okay because I can reach down and grab you.
You can restrain me. We've
Having a great
proved this many
time.
times.
She's not that bad.
Okay. Orsi and Dagmar, you're still under the influence of this thing. Vitericus, just as the moment where you take this being's hand, you suddenly realize, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? As these hands reach out, give me a reflex saving throw, please.
Dex?
Is that Dex?
Yes, it
Suddenly
is.
Pathfinder.
I'm
Yeah.
still stuck
All
in
good.
Pathfinder.
Suddenly
All good.
found yourself in, like, this is Full Metal Alchemist and we got the gate babies going on at this point.
16 on the dex save.
That
Oh,
is
that's good.
just enough as you stumble back in horror, and your hand just slips out of the bloody grasp of this being as these hands all reach out and try to grab you, but they can't extend beyond the edge of the shoreline. And so
That's good, buddy. That's good, buddy. Keep backing up, Viz.
and this
Follow me,
woman,
my friend, I'll need a rain check on that swim.
she looks genuinely heartbroken and confused. Like she doesn't understand why you don't want to swim with her.
I have appointments. I have to. I'm very sorry. I'm very late already.
And it's at this point that Orsi, you see Orsi has walked up and is moments away from stepping into the lake.
Whoa,
He's
whoa,
been
whoa, whoa.
walking. He's also
What's he-
been disrobing as well. So he's like
Oh,
his
buddy.
belt, like his waist bit's undone, his robe's mostly off, like all his scars are out. It's the first time any of you have seen them. They're really bad.
From
And
Dagmar's direction, you hear a whoop.
I love this Dagmar!
Spring break.
and,
Please!
and
It is a beach episode for Dagmar. It's great.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Alright,
also
cool. I'm
in
gonna just stand in
extreme
front of Orsi
emotional
and just be like,
distress.
Orsi, you need to stop.
Get out of my way,
Slap him!
Arrogance. What's
Slap
the
him!
point?
Actually, no. Hang on a minute. You slapped him, and Dags has slapped him. Hang on. I gotta get Morzod over there. What's my
Yeah,
ground
quick,
speed?
Morzod, get in.
I cast Charm Person on Orsi.
I am advantage against being charmed because I am an elf.
That's
So-
fine.
go ahead and roll off.
What am I doing?
That
flat?
is a Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save with advantage.
Morzod's gonna leg it over there because he detected that he may have to throw Ozzy over his shoulder and
Advantage
leaving Dags ruffling.
22.
What
Yeah,
are you
that gets
guys
past my spell
doing?
save DC.
Fuck.
Okay, cool. So I lose that one. And I'm just like, Orsi, you need to stop. This person is not your friend. We are
Of
your
course, you're not my
friends.
fucking friend. You're not my friends either. None of you have ever been my friends. Get out of the way.
So
Right.
Push them aside.
Are we taking our clothes off?
Orsi's foot goes into the water. Morzod is running up. Glow is now actually has grabbed onto Orsi's hair and is trying to pull him physically away from the lake.
Yeah, I think I'm still in front of him. Like, if his foot's in the lake, I'm sort of not quite ankle deep, but somewhere in there, pushing him.
Okay, then Vitericus, you feel hands reach up and start and grab onto your legs and start to pull you into the lake. I'll get one more wisdom saving throw from Orsi and Dagmar, please.
I want Dagmar to stay like this.
What do I have?
Oh, 24. When it got
Perfect.
dramatic.
Oh,
Wait,
Can
what
I
did
bloody-
Dagmar get? Sorry?
4.
Yeah.
Dagmar is now taking off her shirt because apparently that's what we're all doing.
Can she flash the lady in the lake?
Woo!
Orsi, you have this horrific moment of realization that
You're about to
even
get body checked by Morzod.
even though you might have been feeling, you know, some kind of genuine emotion, exaggerated to some degree, you don't want to go into this lake, even though you're going into this lake.
What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I naked?
Dexterity saving throw from Orsi,
Dexterity
please.
save.
Yes.
20.
20.
Plus.
You just managed to dance out of the water as these hands try to grab your ankles. Vitericus, reflex save with disadvantage.
Sure.
Dexterity save with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. That is still a 14.
14.
Is quite enough, but that's still good. So yes, I'm going to be like shoving Orsi away as I sort of
Oh,
fall slightly
14.
back into the lane.
14 is the DC.
Hey.
So you just slide your feet out as these slippery hands are unable to take hold.
Good thing they're all slippery.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
He's just gonna pull him towards him. And catch him.
and the woman says, "Oh, but please, I get so lonely."
The
and-
fuck are you?
But I just want some friends. I don't want to be left alone here again. I'm so tired.
Oh, you can come with us, but we're not going in there. Bloody hell.
I can't leave. It's my lake. It's
Another
my
time,
lake.
my friend. Another time. I am so late for this meeting.
And you
Confused.
are you leaving?
Was it, so Viddy's,
Yes, I think
Viddy's-
I'm like pushing Orsi as Orsi is like collecting his robes and shit. I'm just pushing him back towards the meet point where we're gonna go and get Hirop.
The
I'm
woman,
sorry, the meat point.
as you start moving away, the
Very
woman collapses to her knees and starts screaming and howling, saying, "No, don't go away! Don't you see it doesn't matter? Nothing matters. Nothing matters.
This chick's a huge bummer.
Nothing matters." And she just collapses in. Excuse me. Collapses in on herself, wailing and screaming and laughing simultaneously.
Ruh-roh.
Don't like that. Don't like that. Let's not go for a swim. Come on,
Food.
let's away from here.
At this point, Morzod, you've caught up with Orsi and Vitericus.
Yeah, well within grasp for grabbing shirt collars if I need to, but they both seem at least mostly in control of themselves now by now. Yeah, but you lads need to move away from here, please, because this is not a place that we want to be going for a swim. It's got full of hands.
And at this point, the world around you starts to rumble, and you hear
I don't like that. I
a
don't like
voice
that.
going.
Let me go.
Yep. Lake is amused. I think we need to get out of here.
I have revealed absolute truth and made clear the folly and lies of the other gods. Fainothwan, so-called god of truth, biggest liar of them all. Nothing matters. Nothing that you say, nothing that you do, nothing that is or ever has been or ever will be matters. Order is a lie. Civilization is a lie. Life is a lie. There is only chaos. And
You guys, that's a Blood Lake song.
the valley around you reverberates in this monstrous laughter that goes on and on and on as you all back away from this blood lake and the many limbs and the howling naiad within.
Yes.
And I think that's where we're going to leave this episode of AntipoDnD, with a very close call.
Dag's yelling, play Stairway.
Yeah.
Freebird!
I love Schoolies, Dagmar. Does she have to make another wisdom save before we finish, or can we just leave it?
I think we'll leave it. We'll
Okay, good.
We'll have fun
She's
with
having
that.
a good time.
Yeah,
I love
that's
I
where
love
we'll,
Schoolies, Dagmar.
that's where we'll pick up the next episode.
Schoolies Dag.
Thank you all very much for watching. We shall be back next week to see what our friends do with Dagmar and what they do next. So thanks very much. See you next week.